Welcome to an episode of our Vegetable Kingdom series. Today we will be making an onion mum and a scallion spray. So you want to start with an onion. I'm using a red onion today, and I have peeled the skin away and I also chopped the skin off the top. You want to leave the root end intact, and if you have a lot of fibers there for roots, you can trim those, but don't cut the bottom off. You can just trim the roots so they're not hanging all around. I think the onion mum is great on a vegetable platter. I have even used it to insert my dip bowl into the onion mum, or I have just left it plain on the platter. This onion mum won't be the best because if you can see, it's got the little bulbs started inside, and so that's not the ideal onion for this garnish. However, it is the one I'm using today. I've already got it prepped and ready, so we're just going to have to deal with it. So we want to take our flexible knife, as we have for our other garnishes, and we just want to make us a cut from like about the middle of the onion and down, and make sure the cut goes all the way through, from the center out. But we want to stop before we cut through the roots. So we want to go maybe about a ½ inch or so before the bottom to stop. So this is how we will do this. We will just take and cut through and stop. So if you can see that cut in there. Okay, and then we're going to just move over about ¼ inch or so and do another cut very similar, and not go all the way to the bottom, but you do want your cut to be all the way through the onion. So if you can see that, it's cut there. I could pull it out a little and you could see maybe. Okay, and we're just going to continue around the entire onion just like so. So I will flip it around so you can see maybe this cut a little better. I will continue to make my cuts and I'll show you when it is complete. Now that our onion is all cut into little slices all around, oops, I just broke one off, we're going to take and put it in some hot water, and this will help soften the petals and kind of release them a little bit. And we're just going to let the onion sit for about 5 minutes in the hot water. And while that is sitting, we will work on our scallion spray. So you want to start with a scallion. A pretty good size one is easy. This one's probably about almost ½ inch or so in diameter. And that's a pretty good size to work with. You can certainly do it with a smaller scallion. It's easier if it's a little larger. There's more for you for cutting. I still have my roots here. I'm going to chop off the little hairy parts, but I'm going to leave it intact, just like we left our onion intact. So take a knife and just cut my hairs off. Okay, so the hairs are all gone. And we still have a little bit there for keep holding the scallion together. And we need a piece about 2 inches or so. So I'm just going to chop off so, and then we have, and now we're going to use the very flexible bendable knife again, as we have in the past. And we are going to start about a ½ inch up and cut down to the cut end where the greenery is missing. So we'll start at the root end and work down, and we want to just put the knife through and bring it down, not all the way through to the other side, but just about to the center and cut down. So see if you can see that. Okay, so it's only about halfway through. And we're going to do just like we did for the onion mom. We're going to go all the way around. And the skinnier you can make these cuts, the better of a spray you will see. And sometimes you'll cut off a little piece as well. It just, the nature of the beast. And some of the middle pieces are falling apart. And if you find that you have some very thick middle pieces, if you want to take your knife and just kind of go through them a little and separate it to more than one, that would make it a very nice spray in the end. So I'm just gonna do that there with a couple of those. And so what you can do is you can just kind of take it and swirl it a little bit to kind of release some of that. And I see another one that I'd like, oops, I just pulled it right out. And so you can see it's kind of opening and looks very nice. We're gonna add it to an ice water bath, and that will help curl up the little frills on our scallion spray. And when the onion has sat about 5 minutes, we will also add that to our cold water. And one thing about the onion, you can use a regular white onion if you like. I went with red because that's going to suit my purposes. And I am going to use the onion when I am done. So I personally do not like to use food dyes. If I do dye food at all, I use natural things like beet juice or juice from some greens like some spinach or kale, and that could turn things red or green. Turmeric is a great one for some yellow food dye. So whether you're using liquid food coloring or a gel food coloring or a natural food coloring, the time to add that would be to the ice water. The onions, whether it be the scallion or the onion, will soak up the color, and it would take about overnight for it to absorb the colors and bring it through your scallion or your onion. So if you want to color it for your platter, then that is something to consider. The onion and the scallion themselves are simple, easy, takes just a couple of minutes to make, but letting it sit will increase your time for your finished product. So I think the onion is ready to come out of the hot water, and we're going to put it in the cold water. And you can see it's kind of softening up and opening a bit. The cold water will just help it to continue on opening. So I will let this sit and come back and show you what it looks like. So it has been about a ½ an hour that the vegetables have sat in the ice water bath. And I also had put it in the fridge. Typically I would like it to go longer, but I have some other things I have to tend to, so I need to get this done for you. So we're just going to take the scallion out first, shake some of that water off. And it hasn't been a ton of time, but you can see how the little cuts that we made, they're curling right around. Can you see that? Maybe if I pull some of the others out of the way. So they haven't all curled yet, but if I leave this in the water longer, they certainly will continue to curl. So that is your scallion spray. And if you would like, maybe you want to make more of an upright display on your buffet table or whatever your event is that you are garnishing for. So you could stick a toothpick in the bottom of this and into some other garnishes as well, like the radish roses, and make a beautiful flower bouquet. And by sticking them into maybe like a butternut squash, something that could stand on its own, and fill it with beautiful vegetable flowers and make a bouquet for your table. And here is our onion mom. You can tell I've clipped a little too close to the end because I lost another one of my petals. But there you have it. And if it went a little longer, we would have some of these more in the middle open. But also remember that this had the bulb kind of center to it where, you know, if the onions have been in the store too long, they kind of start to sprout. This wasn't sprouting yet, but it had the bulb in the middle where it was, you know, about to. But I'll flip the camera around and let you take a look at these as we exit. And thank you for stopping in and joining us for an episode of our Vegetable Kingdom series. I hope that these episodes inspire you to get creative with your food, your vegetables especially, and make your tables look beautiful and everything that you eat yummy. Have a great day.